What's up, everybody? My name is Big Cam. Welcome back to another movie review, and today I am talking about a award nominee and award winning The Substance from 2024 from director CORALIE FARGEAT. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but you did a phenomenal job with this movie. But also, you made me feel all the wrong things. But I think that's what it was setting out to do. For the people that haven't seen this movie and they're wondering, should I see this? I want to get into spoilers because I want to tell people, what the basic, elements of this story are. I'm not going to necessarily get into everything and spoil what the movie is. But for the people that don't want any spoilers, I do think this is a phenomenal movie. Demi Moore is 1000%, worthy of her award-winning categories and award-winning. She won the Globe, and honestly, I hope she gets at least Oscar nommed. And this film is one of those films where it's like, it fucked me up all the way through because the first hour I was like, so in, and I was like so interested. I'm like, this is a crazy story, and like, I understand, like, she thinks she's past her prime, and she's like, they're trying to kick her out and find the new best younger thing. And so what does she do? She makes herself the new best younger thing. But the substance that she takes hatches out of her back, like you can see from the picture. And the substance is then Margaret Qualley, the younger, more beautiful version of her. And like, Demi Moore is beautiful, but Demi Moore's in her 60s. Margaret Qualley's got to be in her 20s. And Margaret Qualley is what you would look in the definition in the dictionary of in their prime, because she couldn't be more gorgeous in this movie. Like, she just absolutely crushes it. And Demi Moore, she has to put on all this makeup and prosthetics, almost like the Colin Farrell penguin prosthetics, but instead of then putting a suit and combing the hair and putting a mobster accent on, they just made her look, poor Demi Moore, they just made look like this ugly, grotesque monster. Like, at one point I thought it was like a little hermit troll living under the bridge type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, holy shit. Just like crazy. Like, absolutely the craziest movie I've seen in a long time. And it made me viscerally feel things on the inside of me. Right? Like, and I was like, I wasn't sure if it was the food I had, or because I went to go watch this. I got an hour and a half in, and it was like 11 o'clock, and I had an hour left. And at an hour in, it was starting to take a turn for the worst. And then I realized, oh fuck, I still have an hour left of what is going to get more crazy than what this first hour was. And I couldn't do it because I thought I was going to throw up right before I went to bed. So I turned it off, and then I came back the next day, and I finished the movie. And boy, was it tough to watch that last final hour, because I was like, watch it like this, and oh god, it's just brutal stuff. But it's a beautiful storytelling, and like, she just tells a great, phenomenal story, right? Like, takes us on a journey from start to end, and we start on the Elizabeth Sparkle. We start on the Elizabeth star of the Walk of Fame star, like in Hollywood, and then we end in that same exact location. I was like, it's a beautiful story that they told here, but it is by far the craziest movie I've seen, and I don't like how viscerally and literally it made me feel things that weren't good. I was like devastated. And speaking of devastation, just want to throw this in there. If you're from LA or the LA area, stay safe. Shout out to you guys. The fires out there are wild, and it's just, well, it's not funny, but it's funny to me because LA is literally on fire, and I'm on the East Coast in Boston, where it is the polar opposite. It is literally snowing outside. It is freezing all week. It was like 18, but the wind was so crazy that it felt like 2 degrees. Like, it was cold as balls all fucking week, and now it's snowing. In LA's literally on fire. I'm like, you couldn't be any more polar opposite from the West Coast to the East Coast right now. But anybody that's been affected by those LA fires, very sorry for that. That's just a terrible, terrible situation, and people are losing their homes, and whole communities gone and just up in flames and disappeared. Like, it's a mess, and I hope the rebuild process, or whatever goes on after this, something comes out of it in the positive light for those people, because just a terrible situation. But Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, oh my god. And then Margaret Qualley, right, towards the end of the movie, oh, should they, like, so the substance, right, it hatches out of her back, and then it's supposed to be every 7 days Margaret Qualley is out, and then on the 7th day they switch. So every other week they're supposed to be going, and it's supposed to be Demi Moore for 7 days, her for 7 days, Demi Moore for 7 days, Margaret Qualley 7 days, and it goes back and forth, no exceptions. And they are not individuals, they are one, and they have to remember this and respect the balance, right? And they don't respect the balance, they don't remember this. Margaret Qualley all of a sudden needs an extra day. It then costs something for Demi. Demi starts to get more ugly, but Demi hates herself, so she can't kill herself, so she wants to keep going with Sue, Margaret Qualley's character. Oh my god, dude, it just gets crazier and crazier and crazier, and just like absolutely the wildest movie I've seen in a long time. And it just blew my mind. And the first night I was disturbed, the second night I was like disturbed, but I was mind blown at the same time, where I was like, I can't believe a movie like this exists, let alone is winning awards and getting up for nominations. The fact that it exists at all is crazy. And then the fact that it's winning awards is doubling down on that crazy and being like, yeah, 2025, what's good? So Demi Moore, though, puts on a hell of a performance. So, you know, she deserves all the credit. She's under pounds of makeup and really transforms herself. So that at a certain point you're like, that's not even her, that's a stunt person. And it's just like, but it's her. And the soundtrack of this, like the shots, it's shot unbelievably. Like some of the actual physical way that it's shot with the lighting, it looks gorgeous, but then they're showing you fucked up shit, so you're like, oh my god. But then it's also like super hot at sometimes. You're like, oh my god, Margaret Qualley couldn't look better. She's like twerking, she's dancing. Even at the beginning, Demi Moore looks great. She's dancing and shit, and in these little skimpy little leotard, little singlet, you know, bathing suit, you know, wrestling singlet outfits. I don't know what dancers would call them. But you know, it's super hot, and then all of a sudden, devastating, dark, gross, right? At least she's just like, oh, you thought you were gonna come to see this for hot women? Nah, we're gonna make these women disgusting. and so at one part, poor Margaret Qualley, right, like is just going through it, and her nails breaking, her teeth are falling out, and as things are happening to her that are just devastating, I'm like, you know, just disgusted, because, you know, that's like one of my worst nightmares. Like that's like a nightmare dream that I have, where I wake up and teeth are just involuntary falling out of my head, like, ooh. And they show it, right? Like they don't just imply it, right? Like they physically show her rip it out, and I'm like, oh, dude, cringing. Like I just got the shivers down to my spine just thinking about this scene. But overall, I have to give this movie a 4 out of 5 stars because it is a phenomenal movie. But my personal score would be like a 1 star. Do not recommend body horror movies to me, please. But at the same time, if it's crazy like this and it's up for award nominations, my curiosity will harm myself, right? Like, because I was so curious why this movie was winning awards, same with like Amelia Perez, that I had to go and watch this. Now I have a couple more on my list. I have to watch Conclave. I have to watch, I just had another one in my head that I just forgot, but there's a couple other ones that are up for award noms that I really gotta see, and I'm like, fuck, why? Why do I keep doing this to me? Oh, Honora with Mikey Madsen, you know, both movies I've heard very good things about, but, you know, I don't just take people's word for it. I gotta go check it out for myself, and I hope you guys do the same. The Substance I rented on Amazon Prime. It is not out on streaming, but if you want to rent it yourself, it was like $5-6, not too bad. Go check it out for yourself, and if you have seen this movie, comment down below how The Substance scarred you. I would love to hear those things. And if you're not interested in this movie and you're like just curious and you stop by just to wonder what it's like, maybe comment below some questions. But other than that, off the topic of The Substance, please drop some movie recommendations, some good movie recommendations down in the comment section below. Thank you very much. If you'd like to follow my other social medias, links for those down in the description below. My name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much for coming on by, and I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace.